had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the sunrise.
I mean, 6 months from now, I could be like, yeah, you know, it would be cool to have this all under one roof, and I'm just going to take those channels down, re-upload that content, put it all up in there, or I'm going to just skip YouTube altogether and just build a website like yours and just house all my stuff like different, you know, different sections or pages of the website. You know, I certainly hear you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you have 2 photography channels now. So you have one that's just these videos of the photos you get with these digicams and synthy music and vibes and all that stuff. And then the other one is like
the camera,
a short about cleaning a camera. And then it's you talking about this dilemma you have with your Leica. And I don't know. There's something also sort of fun in the chaos of all that where I'm just,
well, you're a chef and you're in a
just
kitchen.
like instinct.
And it's just
I don't know. It
do
needs
whatever.
a little dash of salt.
Yeah.
Needs this. Like taste it. Like, it needs this. And like, yeah, you know, it's just, you know, there's like an element of making it up as I go along, improvisation, experimentation, winging it. And it's messy and a little chaotic, especially to someone who might, you know, I think too, when you say a project and a project album or whatever, and especially with like what you're doing, you're just so much more focused and deliberate, it feels like. And if you hear this and you're like, yeah, no, I don't think that's a right characterization. Because I know you've got all kinds of stuff going on. It just hasn't like all been put out there. And I'm just like, you know, again, think it, feel it, make it, send it. Like, okay, like I made 30 recordings of the different vinyl record hauls I've got.
That's really cool that you have 30 though.
Yeah, they're
like,
just sitting
dope.
there.
Yeah.
Well, some of those, the first 2 on that channel are from January. That wasn't like last week. And so I know, it's just.
That's awesome, yeah.
And then the
one that also, it's cool to think that you were just making those things and you weren't sure. Like it was, because it was, and I did get that vibe watching them too. It feels, I mean, I don't want to say pure, but it does feel pure. You're interested. You're involved. Like you were just, this is what I want to do right now. So I'm going to do it.
And that's probably, of all the stuff that I make, the purest in the sense, because I just want a record of everything, pun intended. I just want a record of everything that I've gotten.
Yeah.
And what, you know, I don't go so far as to be like, okay, out of these 50 records I picked up, I took 38 of them to the record shop, and here's how much money they gave me for them and what my profit was and all that stuff. And it's going to evolve. I'm probably going to watch them back and be like, I'm kind of like, I don't want to just watch you spend 75 cents a record and you're buying just bullshit stuff that isn't interesting or stuff you're going to keep. It's just all about, I'm going to spend 75 cents on this record and I'm going to go sell it to Homer's for $1.50 and double my money. And that's it.
There is something to the idea of like your channel is like the majors.
Yeah.
And then these are like the minors.
Yeah.
You can send your content down to the minors to refine itself and then bring it up. That's interesting.
And then on that,
you're figuring it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, you know, if it's more pure, it's because I literally, like, I'm not, if people are interested in it and they watch it, I'm always happy for that. And do I check, like, oh, did anybody watch this? That's not the thing that I care about most. Whereas with my main channel, like, I get really bummed out when a video that I made
crashes or doesn't do.
That is a decent split between, I really want to make this and I see what I want to do with it, but I also am like trying to provide value to the audience, which is, you know, kind of goes against, you know, some of the things we've talked about on here. Yeah.
It's just interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, you summed it up well, where there's just different ways to do things, and there's not a wrong way and a right way. There's just different ways, and they all have merit as long as they fit into the system that you're doing. But
that I'm bashing through.
I'm just glad that you're making these things, because for a while it was, well, it's funny because I'm like, I feel like you need to make content around this or do this, and you're over here making them since January, and just you're like, I'm doing it. Yeah. Were you editing them as you made them?
No, just the raw footage and audio just sitting in a folder template. Because basically I said to myself, you can't create the channel and make it visible.
Yeah.
Unless you're really going to do this. And what if after 3 times sitting down and recording your vinyl haul, you're just like, I don't feel like sitting down and recording what I got.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, didn't we have like 5 episodes stored up?
Yeah, right. That's exactly it. Like we have to make sure we're going to do that.
We weren't going to put an episode until we had. Yeah.
And even just in watching back the first 2 on the vinyl channel, I'm like, personally, I'm like, I really need to, in certain situations, get video of like a shot of the records just all sitting there and then flipping through them. So people, because it feels like something's missing. Like just a dude sitting down and going, I went to the thrift store and here's everything I got. While that's fine, it's not quite as interesting for me. Because here's what I like. This is so dumb. We're going to spending time on this, but like part of me is like,
we'll get back to seasonality to tie this up.
I've already looked back at the very first flip through video I did, and it was to send to Simon at Grapefruit Records so he could tell me what records had value. So I could bring them to him, and then he could buy them and then sell them in the shop. And I've already looked back at that video and been like, oh, I would have grabbed, like today, I would have grabbed that one. I would have grabbed that one. Oh, I would have grabbed that one. And some of them might have been for personal, or some of them might have been to sell or put in Josh's shop or take to Homer's because Simon doesn't want them or whatever. And that's interesting to me. It's interesting to like see this, like when I watched that video back, I was like, man, you had no clue what record was what, if it was valuable. You didn't even know what Discogs was. You know, there's just, you're clueless.
Yeah.
And 5 years from now, when I look back at a video that I made today, I'd be curious to go, you know, would you have made the same selections or left this stuff behind or whatever? Or maybe I've, you know, like whatever band I left behind of the cassette tapes today, 5 years from now, I've listened to some of their stuff. And I'm like, that's actually really good. Is it valuable? No.
Matt left a treasure trove of Lyle Lovett tapes behind.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's that too.
Sports. Huey Lewis.
Yeah, I did leave the Huey Lewis. I did leave that. That's a break-even cassette right there at the record shop at best.
Yeah.
Probably a 50 center.
Not popular these days.
No. Although Goldie keeps listening to Power of Love because we watch Back to the Future and she can't get enough of that song. Which is not on sports, by the way. But
what's the experience like starting to go through these movies?
Oh, dude.
See
Aaron was out of town.
It's just going to get better and better. Like next year is going to be even more insane. I know we talked about this last year, but yeah.
Aaron was out of town, and so we went downstairs in my studio where I have, there's like a 55-inch TV and a basic stereo surround system. And with Aaron not being there, we could really crank the volume. I moved the couch up really close to the TV so it felt bigger. Because from across the room, it looks like a little postage stamp across the way. And I'm just like watching Dottie watch all like the key moments from Back to the Future, and she is just loving it. Yeah. Loving it.
Heck yeah.
I'm like, if I was Robert Zemeckis and I got to watch this little 9-year-old, or you know, Bob Gale who co-wrote the script, Spielberg who produced it. If I got to watch this 9-year-old just I mean, it was amazing just watching her react. And she's a active movie watcher, whereas Goldie is more subdued.
Yeah.
And she probably enjoyed it at the same level, but just doesn't visualize or externalize her reactions as much. So it was cool. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's an awesome way to re-experience a movie by...
she's going to be at the age soon where you can just open up the Canon.
That's right. And it starts getting...
Crack it, and it's every night. We're watching this, we're watching this, watching this.
And it can start getting into stuff
You start to form the coolest high schooler of all time. Like,
my sister did that
what do I wish I knew in high school?
My sister did that for our cousin Britt. She was quite a bit younger, and my sister would babysit her. And every time, the all of us are like at Thanksgiving or whatever, and Britt's there. She's just like, Katie, you showing me all those John Hughes movies and everything when I was, probably, I don't know, 11, 12 years old, even younger. Was so powerful for me. And that's where this idea of curation comes in. Not to do a transition or whatever, but we talk about Josh's shop and going to these estate sales and the seasonality and all that stuff. In my channel, there is like a
I like
feeling,
how you tied in everything.
It just popped into my head. It was like a lightning bolt. There is part of me that's like, I want to be Katie, my sister, for all the Brits out there that don't know that this Apple shit is cool, or that these cassettes are awesome, or this band is great, or these cameras. You going nuts about that Canon camera. And even though that might not motivate you to make a video on your channel about it, like to talk about it and why you should consider this, you might make a video using it
with it,
and someone goes, what is this made with? Or you mention it in a description or whatever. And we talked about Josh's shop, and you got really amped about doing this kind of an idea and having curated stuff in there. That's a big part of it. It's about going, I went into a shitty, dirty basement and there was a bunch of old Apple shit.
Yeah.
And I think I was most excited for the shitty Apple monitor, which is a cool monitor, but shitty in the sense like it's in the corner of this dirty basement.
Yeah.
That you get to make your weather station with, if it works.
We're gonna try it. So when you sent it last night, I started looking at the logistics, and I think I can do it with the Pi.
Yeah.
And I already set the browser up to. I self-hosted the actual application, so I don't have to worry about the application going down. It's hosted on my server now. So
the biggest thing is we got to get a power cable for it, which is a standard power cable. I checked it because there was another Apple monitor that had a weird hookup.
So this is standard
like normal Dell monitor.
I've got to get the
cable.
VGA to.
I think it's different than VGA.
Oh shit.
That's
what I was worried about.
We're gonna have to double check whatever that thing is, and
because I got to get it to HDMI somehow.
There's got to be some way to route that.
100%.
Somebody's come up with something.
It's pretty rich in the world of conversion, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna put it right where that fan is.
That's the title of the episode. It's pretty rich in the world of conversion. That's a good sentence.
Throw that out there,
but that you showing me your website. You talking about the weather station. Literally, dude, you telling me about that. I'm like, I would have never in a million years thought of that. I want that in my studio. I don't want to build it.
We're going to have to.
But I want Alex
to
create the kit, not like
we'll figure it out. It's like what we did with the Apple TV.
Apple TV.
And then,
you did that. And I went, oh, yeah. What did I do? I did the exact same thing.
So much cooler. Look at it. Swivels.
It's
pretty fucking cool.
And it's a little
smaller too.
9-inch. Yep.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But no, it's just figuring these little things out.
We talk about this all the time where, we talked about promotion versus curation.
Yeah.
And you talk about that. I go buy the little accessories that you sent me.
Yeah.
That's all I want my channel to be. I don't want to sell people shit. I just want to be like, I have this idea
and be like, this is how you can also
This is how you do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Well, and I'm hoping to do a little bit of that with with the website too of I want to get a little like, I mean, it's like you said, like I'm always messing around with these stupid things where they don't really have a purpose. And yeah, just I'd like a place to share that where it feels just, I don't want it to necessarily, like for me, I don't want it to be like, oh man, like I'm creating this channel and it is just a total, like you're coming over on a Friday or
that's exactly
Wednesday and I'm like, check this out. This is what I've been working on.
And I think your experience of me as a person informs your wondering about why are you separating all this stuff out? It's like when you hang out with me,
well, because it's just
we talk about photos, we talk about this, we talk about vinyl, like it all blends together. And you're not like, hey, whoa, we're talking about records, bro. I'm not interested in that, so I'm gonna tune out. You know what I mean? And so I think naturally it's like, well, why can't you have conversations about all that stuff in one place instead of, separating it out?
I've always hated when somebody's like, well, they don't make movies like they used to, or they don't make, this was my favorite album and I don't ever want them to make music that sounds different. Or like, for some reason they evolved or they changed.
Yeah.
They don't sound the same.
Right.
That's the whole point of all of this.
Listen.
Is the evolution. And so if you evolved and you're like, I don't care as much about Final Cut and like technical bit by bit filmmaking as I did. I'm just more interested in like these interesting things. And I've internalized all these skills and I'm going to use them.
Yep.
To then it's like you've evolved.
Yeah.
You were making pop music and now you're making conceptual like psychedelic music and that's fine. That's sick. Let's see what this is about.
So I think that it comes down to this. Your primary interest is me.
Yeah.
Most of my subscribers, I bet, is the subject matter, not the person. And I think that there's a lot of people where it's real close. One's higher than the other. Some people that are like, dude, just shut up and show me how to make.
You talked about manifesting the
thing.
butter chicken though. Like you can totally manifest the change of they start to view you. I mean, it's like take any musician who took a leap and they went from, so like the example in my head, and this is maybe more my generation, but I think of like one of my favorite people to follow was Mac Miller.
Yeah.
And I mean, the intro thing to our podcast. And the first
deep cut
couple of things that he came out with were like, like the frat rap kind of whatever. And then he comes out with, a mixtape that's like, oh, it's a little bit stretching. Right. Then he comes out with an album that's completely, people are like, whoa, this is very different. I hate this.
Yep.
And the first time I heard it, I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know. And then I was like, okay, let me give it a chance. And that taught me like one of the most valuable lessons about art that I've ever learned. I mean, I was a teenager at this point, and I didn't have that super good curated guidance, super effective curated guidance growing up. I was kind of on my own, and I was a product of shitty daytime TV, and like, I didn't have any level of taste. I didn't know better. Yeah, that was my experience. I didn't grow up in a house with books. I didn't grow up in a house that really loved movies. Not that those things weren't important or I didn't see that. But yeah, I was one of those people that was like, oh, why would you waste all your time in a movie or something?
Right.
Which is just insane for me to think about now.
Yep.
I didn't know better. So when he took this leap and he released this thing that was more conceptual, and then he just kept, everything was a little bit different. Everything was different. And at first people were like, whoa, he's not the same, or this isn't and I mean, I'm sure some people were like, okay, this is different. This isn't for me anymore.
Yep. Cause I want new songs that make me feel the way the old ones did.
And there's still people that I'm sure listen to those old mixtapes, those old albums, but he kept going.
Yeah.
All the way up until he died, everything was different. By the end of it though, you have this incredibly loyal base of people.
Yeah.
That only care about him, and they're growing with him, and they're growing with the music, and every new experience that he's releasing they're tuning in to see what that is. How has he pushed it to a new place? How has he pushed it to at the end of his career, he's releasing like something that is more akin with like a singer-songwriter. Like, I mean, it just like amazing stuff, completely unique. He just followed his own interests the entire time.
Well,
and what I'm getting at is, he took the risk to be like, okay, I'm going to alienate these people that are, and it worked out tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, I mean, his legacy is completely secure. He's like probably one of the most important artists of that generation.
Right.
I mean, I might be overstating it, but I mean, I think he's got like 10 billion views on YouTube or something, like not insignificant at all. So,
well, and what ends up happening, I think, in that situation is some of the people that fell off need 5, 7, 10 years
to come around,
and then they go, "Oh,
I see what he's doing.
I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see it."
And you don't get that if you're pandering to those people.
And
you
that
only get that if you're moving forward and you're listening to your own voice.
That's right. And that happened with Pet Sounds with the Beach Boys. Yep. Everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
The Beatles are great. I mean, the Beatles were what I was thinking about earlier when I said you go from pop to conceptual. Like, everything was just pushing forward.
And they never really released an album that people were like, as far as I know, and please,
that like alienated.
So Pet Sounds was like, okay, let's get the surfers and the surf song and all this stuff. And I think of Weezer, not to put them on like necessarily the same level as Beatles and Beach Boys, although for me they are.
Yeah.
The Blue album comes out in 94 or whatever it was, and then Pinkerton comes out in 97, 96, 97, and everybody goes, what the is this?
Yeah.
We just want more Buddy Holly and Say It Ain't So and all
stick
that.
To it,
like, what is this? And I loved Pinkerton from the start. And I feel like I'm all in on these artists.
You're in on the group, not it's like, I mean, PTA, like, you can completely draw a line down the middle of his work.
Yeah.
It's like, this is completely different than this.
100%.
And there might be some people that are like, I just want another Boogie Nights. Or
right.
I just want another Magnolia.
Yeah.
But he continued to progress.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is different. And I mean, I'm a fan of it right now.
Right.
I think, I think the later half is far more interesting. The work is a lot richer. It's so much more conceptual. It's so much more interesting.
And you're meaning like Licorice Pizza,
Phantom Thread, The Master, Inherent Vice. There will be blood to, I think, Inherent Vice, to Phantom Thread, to Licorice Pizza, The Master.
Yeah.
Like, those films are so much different than Punch Drunk Love,
right?
Heartache, Magnolia. And
was Punch Drunk Love before?
And then he did the documentary too. He did the Junoon, or I think that's what it. Yeah.
Was it Punch Drunk Love? There Will Be Blood.
Punch Drunk Love, and then he took a 6-year hiatus, and then There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. Or a 5-year hiatus.
And that stretch for me: Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood. Phantom Thread came before Inherent Vice, right?
After.
Yeah.
It was The Master, and then Inherent Vice, and then Phantom Thread, I believe.
Okay.
And then
and I need to
Licorice Pizza.
I need to go through Inherent Vice again.
It's good. I'm gonna give you an edible, and we're gonna go see it in the theater.
Okay.
You and I are gonna take an edible.
All right.
We'll plan it ahead so you can kind of deal with what you need to. And we're gonna go and see, because it is, especially when you're locked in. It's crazy. But what the greater point is, he's somebody who's continued to press forward, and he's not thinking about, oh, what are my contemporaries doing, or what is expected of me, or
what is this film that I'm working on now? What is it? How does it relate to what the audience expects based on what I made last time?
Just interested totally in what he's interested in.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's how I think good art gets made.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I don't know how this ties in. Like, this isn't a big thing of me making an argument of like, well, you should do it this way.
Well,
like, I get it. I totally get the idea of
it also
having something that's low stakes to kind of experiment in.
It also gets murky too, because, and I know this is like for some people kind of a trigger word, but like the difference between content, especially in the relation to what I'm making, Final Cut tutorials, probably the most artistic thing I make is the photo video stuff.
Yeah.
But then also, just like you said, I mean, I've like went, this is what the form needs to be, and every video is going to like be similar to itself, to the one that came before it. So there's those challenges as well, like personal documentation, making quote unquote content, using sort of artistic tools or instincts or whatever in some of these videos, but ultimately it's just kind of a straightforward communication of something. This is how you do this in Final Cut. These are the records I got at the thrift store.
Yeah.
This is my dilemma with this camera that I acquired. It's not a translation or transformation of a feeling into a piece of work that
you could argue, but
we can always
spending so much time with the form is going to translate to something inherently.
Yeah. Because I do think about like my screenwriting, and there was like, oh, well, I wrote this like coming of age, supernatural kind of horror movie. So why am I writing a hard-boiled cop movie next? There's no, I don't give a shit. This is the story I have in my head. I don't care what the previous script was.
It's what's got your attention right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is just if you stay true to that, you're going to go further than if you're constantly second guessing yourself, or like anything that's like, I shouldn't be doing this. You're listening to another voice.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not always a bad thing to ignore that. I'm going to do this. And then if something comes up and says, I shouldn't be doing this, maybe that is, hey, do you want part of my shop?
Right.
I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
No, I don't want, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Sometimes, but yeah.
But the voice that I do want to listen to, and I wish it was easier for me to just do it, is like when I'm running around town like this, I see things that speak to photography projects that I've screwed around with.
I've
taken some photos, these different projects I have in my head that I have done something toward. I see that thing, and that would be perfect for this project I've started. But I got to go get this thing. I got to go grab this. I got to, I just keep not making the work because I'm chasing money.
And maybe what you're doing with creating all of the channels is you're spreading it subconsciously. You're spreading it out because then there's more surface area for one of them to really stick. And then bust you out of this.
That's right. And I think there is an element
cycle of I don't have enough revenue. Like
I need more. I need to buy more lottery tickets.
Yeah, you're buying more lottery. Exactly. And it's if the vinyl channel rips and goes to 300,000 subs, all of a sudden, you're not putting all of your eggs in the basket of Matthew O'Brien.
Right.
Suddenly you have a vinyl channel that pays the bills, and you can.
And then some, and I could be like, I'm going to spend the week driving around Omaha for these photo projects, and I don't have to stress about it one bit.
Yeah, yeah. So I get that, and I didn't necessarily. Yeah, I mean
and there's an element of that.
Makes sense. Yeah,
for sure.
And there's also the subconscious protection element of. You kind of hit on this at the beginning of the episode, but spreading. There's more hope. I mean, it is the lottery ticket thing, but I had a conversation with a buddy this morning, and he's not loving his job. And he's like, I really want to do my own thing because at least that way, when I have a shit day or a shit week, I'm building towards something that has the potential to break me out of
That's
that.
right.
He's like, right now I have a shit week and all I have guaranteed is the salary that I've negotiated or whatever. And I'm like, I get that. It's just having something he said, he was just like, I want the hope of something more.
Yep.
Like, I just want the idea that there could be something more. And so maybe that's part of it is, there's having all of these, there's more of just, you have more irons on the fire.
Mm-hmm. And there's just this feeling of infinity.
Yeah.
Versus just like this finite paycheck and pain.
Yeah.
And I think too, the multiple channel thing is a reaction to, I mean, and it's literally documented in this podcast, all of the conversations we've had about art versus commerce and my struggle with, I don't want to make a video to sell people stuff.
Yeah.
I have a sponsorship video that I'm going to work on next week, and I believe in the product. I use the product. I think other people should be using it if they're shooting and capturing footage to a hard drive or using Final Cut and needing to reduce their file size consumption, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to at least in my first thoughts, craft a video that feels like, I don't know, something that feels like a big, like, I think if someone really goes, what did I just watch? And if I really take myself to task, that was just a big commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my intention isn't to make a commercial. My intention isn't to, it's to make it in a way that is valuable and entertaining, hopefully, and interesting or vibey or whatever I end up doing. But to curate something like I'm telling you, oh, dude, you're not capturing your footage using this software.
Yeah.
Dude, when you're out in Colorado and you're doing the stuff with the DV camera, you got to put it on two hard drives. Yeah. Just use this app and it does it. And between you and me, you might be like, oh, cool, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
And if it checks all the boxes, it's not too expensive. Like, thanks for curating that for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think all of these channels, there's an element of that.
Speaking of hard drive, I'm going to need your help. I got to upgrade this thing. It's just been 5 years.
Let's see.
I can take out the drives. I just want to replace them with new drives.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it all cloud backed up and everything. And I'll keep those drives probably.
Gotcha.
But just needed to slip that in there.
Gotcha.
Maybe this product.
Right. So I think having the multiple channels too is a reaction to, I don't want to be dependent through one channel on acquiring sponsorships that make me feel like I'm selling people stuff versus curating them stuff. So if I can create these channels and those channels can include a link to a film stock, a link to record sleeves that I use and really like, and those things generate affiliate revenue, I can break myself free of this feeling of depending on sponsorship revenue as the main driver of profitability for my business. And I get the best of both worlds. I get the revenue and I get to curate.
You get the experience of curating something that is meaningful to you. It's like us having Topo on here.
And talking about Kanara. We sort of did it in a joking tone, but you literally curated. Yeah. Some people might be like, you promoted it, but I'm like, no. Yeah. Like, we didn't plan this.
We definitely aren't getting any benefit.
We don't have affiliate revenue. That's
I would love if they wanted to reach out now.
Right.
No, I mean, absolutely. It's like we drink Cuddy on here. And I've had a couple of people reach out and be like, tried Cuddy. It's actually a lot better than I anticipated.
I thought it was shit.
Like, it's,
blended.
It's not the greatest scotch in the world. It's great.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. And that's cool.
Right.
It's just something that,
And some people might watch Punch Drunk Love and they haven't seen it before, or go to an estate sale because they've never been to one before.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is we have to, and it's not convenient for anybody's bottom line. It's not convenient for anybody's sales quotas.
Lights out.
But the idea that, not sponsored, but curated.
Yes.
And obviously this is gonna get abused. Like this, if this gains any kind of real world traction, this is gonna get abused, and then every sponsorship is gonna be disguised as a curation.
Yeah.
And it's gonna completely ruin the idea, corrupt the idea of a curation. But I mean, yeah, there is something to, and we've already seen it. Like, we're in the evolution right now where things are clearly sponsorships, because it used to be you'd read an ad or something, and I think there was a bit more of a novelty or like a naive presence to when you received that. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'll check this out. And it felt like a curation.
Yeah.
And that's been betrayed at some point in the last couple of decades.
Yeah.
It's been betrayed in culture, and now everything is just kind of accepted as an ad.
Well, and when you used to watch television, cable television or network television, like you'd have your 6-minute run of Saved by the Bell, and then there would be all these random disconnected commercials. I mean, maybe they'd fall under like kids related stuff because that was more appropriate for that demographic of viewer and all that, or you're watching MTV and you see commercials for this thing or that thing or whatever.
But it was pretty general.
The audience goes, I'm watching MTV. Oh, now there's a commercial. This has nothing to do with MTV. This is a bank of commercials that make the company that owns MTV some ad revenue, and then we go back to MTV.
Yeah.
With YouTube, it's all interwoven. It's what you're talking about, just Cuddy Sark on the table, and people get interested in it because of its sort of product placement, even though there's an intention there in the term product placement, where this is not in, hey, let's increase Cuddy Sark sales, because there's no intentionality behind that.
But then
versus
the
Squarespace.
What
ad.
happens is if somebody finds out, oh man, that podcast sure is selling a lot of Cuddy Sark. Then somebody's like, I will pay you $10,000 to put my whiskey on your table.
Right.
And only my whiskey.
Yep.
And then suddenly this Cuddy Sark goes away.
Right.
And this comes in.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about it.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, well, we just found this stuff. And
And maybe we don't even like it.
Yeah.
Or prefer it. But the money's there.
Yeah.
And that's where I go, no, it has to just happen organically. You have to like the Cuddy first.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a character in the channel.
Yeah.
I have to like the software application that I'm going to do a sponsorship with. I have to like the record sleeves that I'm going to mention on my, in the description of my video, or the film stock that I use, or the camera, whatever. And go from there with incorporating it into the work that you're making. And that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And I think these channels, there's an element of these channels that makes me feel like has this new frontier of hope to generate revenue, but also have the return value of people going, hey, I tried that thing that you mentioned, and you're right, it is cool.
It was great.
And it improved my experience.
I mean, just with the music, I mean, it's funny, we listened to Astral Weeks on this recent drive a couple of times. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite. I any kind of road trip, I try to work it in at some point. But you found that record, and I was like, oh, yeah, I need to run that back. Yeah, like I need to check that out again. Yep. So, I mean, I get it. They're different. They're built for different things. Yeah. But, I do want to get back to seasonality just to. Yeah, because we've never wrapped up that point on an episode. I think we started talking about seasonality like 3 or 4 times, and then the one episode that we actually went through it, was the lost episode. Also, it smells like there's a skunk outside of the door. Do you smell that? No. Am I just?
Smells like fall. It smells like fall in Omaha.
Oh, wonderful. So, perfect.
Is it that Indian food, Alex?
It's my own breath.
He's just going to have a stroke.
Jesus.
It's my own.
I'm just gassing myself out here. So seasonality. I mean, yeah. What is your, like, the biggest thing that I'd say is it kind of gets into the whole discussion we had about just kind of following whatever comes. Like, you know, I don't want to write about this. I want to write about this. Knowing, like, I mean, obviously there's limitations that you need to have, because you can, I mean, if you're anything like us, I'm sure you could just completely get off track.
Oh yeah.
And just
Off the rails.
never tie a thread together. But there is something to just knowing that things come together, and sometimes you'll work on something for 2 months and then you'll want to, you know, take a month and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can come back to that, and the passion can still be there. And this can play out over the course of a decade or, you know, 2 decades. It doesn't have to play out in this hyper concise, this artificially manufactured kind of time frame that I just feel like as a culture, we've gotten very used to the idea that everything has to be quick.
Yes.
If you're going to start a business and you're not making $500,000 a year in 2 years, then you're a bum.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this, if you're going to, you know, write something, or you're going to pursue something artistic, and if it's not this metric of success and this metric of time, then you're this metric of a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Results.
Yeah.
Results. Let's go.
And it's completely fake. It's completely fabricated. It's completely, I mean, it's just toxic. It's toxic if you buy into it. It's toxic if you, yeah. So I'm curious, like, what is your relationship with seasonality? I'd love, we can maybe talk about some personal examples, and then we'll tie this thing up.
I want to hear your relationship with seasonality. I feel like I've been talking this whole time.
I mean, how, like, what, how so? How? So I think that's a good way to describe it, how I just did, of you don't need to do everything right now. You don't need to do, everything doesn't have to come immediately.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, bring it all, lay it all out on the table, and then tie it all up immediately. It's just taking time with things. And maybe that's just something that comes with age, but I think it used to be more of an age thing. And now, since everybody's kind of online constantly, it's less of an age thing. It's just more of a cultural expectation at this point.
Yeah, and I think cultural expectation plays into it a lot when you let markers and milestones and results and your age and your demographic and the sort of quantified results of your life, when you start letting those things give you a view of where you are in the race.
Yeah.
How am I doing? Am I going to get that 3-hour marathon? Am I in 6th place in the race? Am I getting lapped by the lead car?
Just like a linear progression model of your world.
Yeah, and it just compresses time for you, and you're like, well, if I want to win this thing, or I want to get to this point, then I don't have.
Who's my competition? Oh, I'm not ahead of them, but I'm killing them.
If I get lapped after 10 laps, there's a different perception of what you have to work with to try to make it better. If you get lapped by the lead car with 6 laps to go in the race, the pressure's on. You got to, figure it out. And I bring all that up just because I'm in a place with my age and where I am financially and what my wife, sort of where she wants to be, hopes for having money to pay for kids' college, paying off student loans, like all these things.
College won't be a thing once they're there. No.
But and this is what I talk about, those kind of cultural pressures, like they impress upon my wife, they impress upon me, this sort of like, where are you in the world of this? And when you have friends that, I'm not saying this is affecting me, but, Ashley and Cody went off to Toronto. You got a motorcycle and a camper and are doing this. People can sort of see that stuff and go, oh, wow, I'm like really behind in the race. But then you guys might go, well, Matt and Aaron have 2 kids. They're already young, or they have a house with equity, this stuff. And it's like, I take that for granted because I have it.
Yeah. You never look at, you never take stake. It's always
right.
And so you do take stake. It's just of other people's experiences.
And so sometimes I think those cultural pressures, a legitimate scarcity of resources, even if it's in a system that you wish didn't work this way, your age, there's a lot of variables that can influence you to have maybe shorter term thinking or trying to get immediate results, wanting validation, wanting to achieve some kind of significant result, because maybe like this is for me, there's a big element of ego with me that thinks like, there's times, dude, where I'm like looking at clothes at a thrift store and I'm like, what the are you doing?
Yeah.
And the ego part of me.
Yeah.
And I mean like the ego part of me that, like we talked about this in a previous podcast, thinks I should have, an Academy Award,
a mansion in LA, and
all this stuff. But you don't have to do all the hard work to get that. Like you just deserve that.
Yeah. Because
you're special or you're talented or whatever, And I'm saying all that as sort of like being disparaging toward my ego.
Yeah.
That would even make me think that that's remotely possible. But all those things factor in, and the right combination of them can apply pressure.
Yeah.
And then you do something in reaction to that pressure.
Yeah. What is how do you feel like you're able to decompress that time frame, or like how do you deal with those expectations or set? Because I like this time of year especially is a great reminder of like, things are in constant change, and you can fight it or you can just embrace it and go with it. And if you embrace it and just roll with it and don't have, it's just, there's something refreshing about the idea that I can do this for a little bit and then I can step back and then I can do something else. And then I can I can definitely come back and do this again. Or, so yeah, how does it tie in?
Well, the decompression from all that, I think, comes from, we've talked this, just the idea of surrender on this channel, and I think truth. And I think for some people, it's like, look, this is the truth of your life. The decisions you've made, the places you've gone, the people that you're with, this is what your life looks like. And while that may not be in alignment with what your ego thought it was supposed to be when you were 17 years old, or like we said before, like we said just a little bit ago, because you have a house with equity, you don't see it as anything special.
Yeah.
Because you have a really great marriage and 2 wonderful kids, that that can become invisible
That's
to you.
the baseline, and then everything else is better than that at that point.
Or also, you know, and I was thinking about this, and I mentioned it. I was thinking about this the other day, and I mentioned in the podcast before. I mean, like you know, I was in acting school. I asked my buddy John, the love of your life or your acting comedy career. You have to choose one, the career. But my answer,
context, he's like, you know, he's had some success.
Yeah,
in that.
he's I mean, he's an expert in his craft. Funny.
His last name's Mulaney. No,
yeah, all that stuff. And my answer was, well, the love of your life. And so I've always said to myself, you pretty much were working toward manifesting, creating that in your life, you know, the person that you were going to spend your life with and having kids, and you taking your failures in past relationships and even in your current relationship and improving yourself so you wouldn't ever be at risk of causing so much pain to someone that they didn't want to be with you anymore. And so it's easy for me to sort of just not see all the hard work that went into creating that.
Getting to where you are, yeah.
And I think going back to what I said earlier, sort of surrendering and all that, you have to I don't know. I think you have to reconcile the part of you that is trying to achieve something with the part of you that has achieved a lot already. And I think for a lot of us, we have that invisibility of what we've done and what we've accomplished because we're always focused on what we're trying to get next. And that's something that I struggle with. So if I want to take that pressure off, for me, it's about going, yeah, there's a lot that you haven't done. There's a lot that you want to do. There's a lot that you don't think you have time to do, or the resources, the talent, the whatever it is that you're not going to be able to do. But look at what you have done.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing.
Well, I think there's also just like the whole framework of achievement being the goal is kind of fake.
Yeah.
At a certain point, achievement is, it can be a goal, but you know, there's nothing that says humans are put on this planet with the sole goal of achieving. It's just not true.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, yes, having motivation or these are not bad things.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to want to achieve something. It's good to have a goal, or it's good to have, you know, an iron in the fire, because it gives you hope and it carries you through your life. It gives you a momentum. It pulls you along. But it's not the only thing.
Yeah.
Now don't take that and be like, okay, well then I'm just going to throw it all out. And then, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, there's definitely, it's not a black and white thing, but
yeah,
there are other things out there that aren't achievement based necessarily, or achievement based in the way that we might define it.
Yeah.
That are extremely worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
And there's things that aren't optimization based that are extremely worthwhile and worth doing.
And there are things that I think are worth doing, but they don't create the markers of success that our society needs to see in order to look at a person and go, yeah, you're really crushing it. You've really got this figured out. You've got the big house, the cars, you've got the money, you've got the vacations.
Society is like a parasite on individual achievement. Like, in order for that to continue, individual achievement is kind of a prerequisite.
Yeah.
So it has to incentivize that, because without that, it in its current form begins to crumble. So what happens when that happens, who knows? But I am interested, we can end out on this, but like, what's your current season? If you had to sum it up in a couple of words.
Ooh, chaotic clarity.
That was less words than I anticipated. There you go.
That's what it is. I know exactly what I'm trying to do, and I am creating a giant
all over the place tornado.
It's like, I'm going to make this video, and my whole studio's torn apart to do it.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I got to make a big fucking mess to do it.
Yeah, you got to tear down the walls.
So yeah, chaotic clarity. I would say that, and I think because you talk about the season maybe leading up to this.
Yeah.
And the sort of we're down one.
Oh.
It's yours, not mine.
Yeah.
But the kind of the bomb that went off in getting into vintage and film photography and all that stuff, that was sort of like chaotic experimentation.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with all
now
this.
you finally feel like you just have to figure out how to do it.
And it'll change, it'll evolve. It'll be like, oh, adjust here, adjust there, maybe drop this or whatever. But I'm like, I know the videos I want to make. I know the things I want to do. And I'm making a mess to do it, not to figure it out, but to just execute. Evolve, execute.
You don't have
evolve.
any processes yet. You don't have any.
Yeah. So yeah, how about you?
Well, I don't have a camera to
You
speak
just gotta
to, so
talk to the wide,
stare at the wide,
or just creep into my shot.
lean in.
But you can't leave everyone hanging without.
No, for sure. What do I feel like? If I just stall long enough, both these things will die, and I'm out. I'm scot free. Shit. Actually, now I feel pressured. Shit, that one's gone too.
Oh no, just the wide.
I legitimately
Too
feel
much
anxiety now. What do I feel? My season is, I don't know. So I am constantly afraid that, that one died too.
Now it's just audio.
It's just audio.
We got to finish
I'm
it.
going to cut it off on YouTube and we can point people to the audio podcast.
Savage, bro.
Yeah,
no way.
All right, go check out the podcast.
Look at you.
Well, now the pressure is gone. That's nice.
A little red light.
Bloop, bloop. So I constantly feel like I'm just like one thing happening away from everything crumbling. I finally feel like there's a little bit of like stability, and it's a very unfamiliar feeling.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm just, somebody's blowing at and everything's just going to fall apart.
House of cards.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
But I think that's true.
They're still making sounds.
That's weird.
It just wrapped up the writing.
So there's a constant fear there. And I'm trying to get past that and put that out of my head.
Yeah.
And I mean, on the other side of that, though, there is a glimpse at just space to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's somewhere between those two extremes. Everything is inches away from falling into a million pieces and shattering, and then space to make what I want to make. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Nothing. Yeah.
It makes sense to me, but
yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
So we'll see what happens. Get
Copy
this weather
that.
station.
Oh, dude, it's going to be so good. I hope that damn monitor better work.
We're going to figure it out. If I have to,
I just don't want to like get all this stuff and then hook it up and we're like, oh,
it might be. That's why Amazon, smoke comes out, catches the curtains on fire, burns down the studio.
It was going to be so perfect.
Well, we did 2 hours.
Holy shit.
30 minutes of it was us eating Indian food.
Whatever.
So
Thanks for listening to us eat and tink our spoons on our bowls.
Thank you to our DoorDash driver.
That's right. Who forgot my mango lassie? Son of a bitch.
She's not even paying attention.
No clue.
2 stars.
2 stars. 2 stars, no tip.
2 stars, no tip. They already get a driver's fee. It's fine.
We're going to request a different DoorDasher next time.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the sunrise.